admit that you were fucking thinking.
So, disciplining racists and sexists. Point being that racism, like capitalism or sexism or biologicism, empiricism, there are certain isms that obviously are disciplinary. And so yeah, so obviously the term has been coined already, but obviously it's like isn't so much the point, is it? Like I said, that what we do when we create a discipline is actually just coining the term and setting up an institution, and okay, it's whatever the name is that's like the coinage. And so obviously capitalism is studying insults. Racism and sexism doesn't necessarily offend you. Obviously, being offended isn't necessarily anything to do with being racist or sexist, or any understanding you have of what race is or what sex is. Or it's just taking a position to where you can live within your concepts and develop them into something constructive, or at least as effective as a scientific theory. A racist theory being as empirically valid as a scientific theory, a sexist theory being as creative as an artwork. Sexist theory or elements, obviously the artwork is necessarily the element of art, is that there are some made up of elements through the discipline of art, and the theory of art would just be some sort of concept of what is worthwhile to draw, why what was drawn is worthwhile, or not even worthwhile, I guess just the technique in that sense. I'm a how-to, obviously that is theory, though what I am taking the opportunity to do is take this idea of opinions, this element of opinion that seems to be quite important in sexist and racist conversations, situations, elements. Obviously, so it's an important element. Clearly, there's other things that we need to tend to properly discipline sexism and racism. Sexist, racist. Obviously, that's just the name of the person who is working for racism, doing some racism. It's a racist, so we have all of the subjects being somehow, there's no order, there's no hierarchy. I could pretend physics is the best just because they have obviously the most influence over the world on the physical inspectors, the people interested in physical things, obviously can affect this reality. Obviously we call it physical, but that's only a reference to our consumption of the information that they've given to us. So we must take this up. It's an opinion. It's an element, obviously can be played with a lot, maybe to generate something a bit more useful than what is currently being suggested politically. Your vote is your opinion. Well, your opinion can be what you want. So what do we really want our opinions to be? What would you think a racist wants their opinion to mean? And why not? Is this not detectable by people? Measurable? Obviously these certain things with obviously people gaining influence through racism and sexism can be handled very easily with capitalism, since their opinions obviously are basically insults, just like in maths. Their equations are basically insults. Obviously, where else am I really supposed to look to insult anymore? We can insult racism and sexist, and we can insult the mathematicians. because they have equations that equal something that you can change. Is that an insult? I do not think so. So the equation cannot change. It's almost like they have all of the same effect. It's like the opinion is the equation, is the insult, in some sort of way that obviously can be defined through obviously that's how you feel. So yeah, feeling is another discipline that obviously compared to computing, that's another discipline that is up and running to be coined. You know, everyone wants to talk about their feelings, and everyone knows what it means, and everyone wants to know what it means. And then finally we have apology. Okay, so we got psychology, astrology, got the apology. So it's like utilizing this forgiveness or ability to make others forgive, a way of conceiving the world only through an act of being apologetically reactive, or just being apologetic to every single entity or situation thing in it. Like the concept of life is merely an apology from some sort of perspective, and you know, whether or not guilt fuels that apology, or you know, just guidance or misdirection. You know, there's many emotions that seem to be able to be turned into elements through feeling, just like it's being done through computing. But obviously, if you're just feeling it, you don't need a computer, so that's a difference there. So they can't really work too close together. So a new discipline needs to be put clearly into people's minds, so they're not conflating their relationship with the computer with their feelings, as if, you know, the computer isn't clearly different from what you could feel otherwise. You know, about the computer, your feelings about the computer aren't the computer. You know, isn't the network, aren't necessarily anything to do with computing. So I will put my phone number at the bottom. I'm opening up my cellular position. This is what I'm gonna say. You know, so we can talk. Someone can call up, send me a text. Obviously, it's English numbers. Maybe WhatsApp, or I'll put my email there as well. Obviously, emails is not paying. I guess I'll put other contact details at some point. See, the point is that you discipline me. You send some disciplinary actions through the technology links to contact me. Also, just to acknowledge the fact that that is always what is happening. You know, even literacy is a discipline. Sociology and socializing people is discipline. So maybe we can talk about it, maybe not. You know, just throw your best insult. Obviously, that's the whole point of capitalism, to understand what captivates you and to make the most of that. Make the most of the perspective that captivates you. Hey, so I have been, instead of theorizing things, instead of creating more theories, because theories are just part of, you know, subjects that other people already determine the nature of. Obviously, I like to look at this nature as a disciplined nature. So, looking at how historically disciplined subjects have been made or institutionalized, which you could say is the whole description of the process of how the discipline has been made. Kind of ignoring the fact that an institution kind of appeals to certain fields and not to other fields. I guess like it's more of a religious innovation, you know, on the church, on collecting the people and setting a mission for more fellowship, for obviously improving the nature of the relations between different people. Just by institutionalizing some sort of distinct perspective of the world. So if you think about psychoanalysis, and we think about other things like physics, and about how any person here is it's equally creditable because they're in such an institution, and even research websites love it. They love it when you're part of an institution, so much so that they give you free papers. And you don't get any free papers if you're not from an institution. So yes, obviously there's that religious aspect. Call it witchcraft. You know, they craft which thing is which. And also we got the Satanism and the satanic witch with the new innovations. But so making disciplines is different from theories because it really involves disciplining people, or disciplining yourself. Obviously, it's not necessarily a change, but it's necessarily staying by your words or whatever words you put in your discipline. Obviously, you can't be going against them because that's not how discipline works. It's not a smash or a hit. You know, it's just the processing of information. You know, there's you could always learn things from being hit. Obviously, it's not like you remember what the hit gave to you. Obviously, the hit didn't give anything to you. You know, it's a tool that people wield. And so when we look at disciplines again, we have the elements that have been suggested more important as the theories. So much so that it's like disciplines are merely made up of theories and elements. And so obviously you can view the tool as an element. Obviously they had to make it out of parts, which can be elements of that tool. Obviously they wouldn't know how to put these elements together without the theory. So even someone that doesn't write down the ways in which they put something together obviously had to consider how to create the structures, obviously support the structures, conjecture almost within themselves, theorize without writing down. Obviously most people do that. Obviously it's just a diary, it's a self-reference, if that's what a diary can be reduced to. Like whenever you're referencing yourself, you're theorizing, obviously determining whether or not it's necessarily true, depending on whether or not truth is an element of your discipline, where it isn't in many disciplines, such as I guess